Hey guys, it's Chris and Nnita. We're here with part 2 of our Survive and Thrive episode.
This is a continuation of episode 8, recorded the same night, just continuing the conversation.
It does have content in the video that may be triggering to you if you have gone through any form of abuse. So we do want to let you know that
make sure you are cautious when viewing this episode because viewer discretion is advised.
Thanks.
Welcome to Spoken Tea, where we talk about life, faith, friendship, and growth. All about keeping it 100 and having a good laugh. I'm Nnita.
And I'm Krys.
So grab your cup and come get this spoken tea.
Okay, so we talked about my vulnerability and what I feel like from my past could help someone else. So, Nee, do you have anything that you would like to deep dive into for this episode of vulnerability and transparency?
I wish there was a cameraman that could zoom into my face.
Come on, pull it out.
Okay. What I'm going to talk about, I personally, just put it like this. I feel like there are a bunch of different things, of course, that from my life that I feel like could help other women or whatever, I've already talked about my confidence struggles and stuff like that. So there are other things, I'm not just, I don't know why I feel like the need to make it seem like this isn't the only thing that I feel like in my life could help other people. But if we're going to go to a place of we're being transparent, we're being vulnerable, and we were kind of talking about abuse and trauma, what have you. So what I'm really gonna focus on, like the first part of the story isn't as important as the second part. Is what I'm getting at. The second part of the story is really what I'm honing in on, and it's the impact of how trauma that has happened to you when you were younger kind of just affects you as you keep growing and your choices when you're an adult. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say the second part is actually more important than the first part. The first part has to be told in order for the second part to make sense. I will not go into complete detail about the first part because it's not the most important piece. But I'm going to discuss it a little bit. Why are you so serious?
Because I'm just being supportive. If I giggle through the whole thing, then it's going to seem like I'm not taking you serious, and I am. I'm being supportive. It's my supportive face.
That's your supportive face?
Mm-hmm.
That's very serious. That's not it.
Is that
you know it's not
it? This is
you know it's not it.
This is exuding support. I'm so
All right,
sorry.
So in the interest of transparency, I am going to forewarn you that I may take long pauses. I may be dramatic, but this is the first time that I am saying this to anyone outside of her and one other person, my other best friend. It's the first time that I've said this to anyone besides my therapist outside of that. So, so there may be pauses or whatever. Like I haven't even told my mom any of this, and she's a faithful listener and a watcher of the show. So, Ma, this wasn't not told to you for any particular reason outside of the fact that just wasn't ready.
Sorry, Mama, that was my fault. I kind of brought this conversation up to her, and this was just her topic of discussion. So it's not that she won't try to talk to you or tell you, but it just kind of timed out. So yeah, that's on me. I take that. Go ahead. Had to put a disclaimer out there. We make sure everybody's straight.
Okay, so when I was little, I when I was little, I was I play entirely too much. Like, just can't take things seriously. No, okay, so when I was younger, I was molested. Kind of continuously for a certain amount of time, what have you. That's the short part of the story. That's what I'm saying, because it's not as important as the last part. So that happened, and it affected me in a way of, and this is all things that I didn't figure out until 30. I didn't fully figure out until 30, but it affected a lot of my view of myself as far as confidence, and as how I the value I put on the perceptions that men have of me and what I would want them to have and stuff like that. So it put it impacted that a lot. Also, it impacted the way I communicated with men. The way I communicated with men of a certain age. As well as the choices I made when it came down to men. Figured all of this out when I was, like I said, 30. And it even this is after I talked to my therapist about it and processed all of it with her. It still was able to ring its ugly head. And in an incident that happened, when was that? Last year? Last year? This year?
I don't think it was this year. It was around
last year,
but it wasn't summertime.
Last
it
year.
was warm last year. So yeah, summertime last year.
So that's, and the reason that's why I wanted to bring up the impact and how how trauma continues to kind of author your life as you continue, even whether you work on it or not, even after you have, and you haven't completely overcome all of the things that is already changed within you, some of those things still come up. Or even if you have completely healed from it, trauma never really goes away. So at any point, something can happen to send you back to that little girl. So throughout my life, I've put a lot of value into what men thought about me, whether they found me attractive, and allowing myself to be treated way less than I should have been treated, because I was getting the attention that I wanted. Also allowing myself to be used for my body, which later on, after therapy most of my therapy session is really just me saying things and my therapist going, yes, you're right, exactly.
Therapist.
You were actually very right. You were correct in the way that you analyzed that. A lot of it wasn't, not in those words, but like that's how it goes. Mm-hmm. A lot of it goes that way. But I realized later that the reason that I allowed myself to be used for my body is because when I was a little girl, I was used for my body before I even fully knew what all of that even was. Yeah. And so in my mind, growing up, that is what equated like and worth and things like that is my body, because that is what it's good for. It was good then. That made sense. That I got all the attention I wanted then when that was happening from that. I got plenty of attention from that person then, and that was great. And so apparently I must have liked it or what have you, like all these different things that I've told myself. And so since that worked, then attention must be connected to that. And so if that's happening, then everything's great. And so, like I said, that has impacted a lot of the choices that I've made in men and partners and whatnot. And also led me to be in a lot of relationships that I didn't want to be in. That I kind of just, even little teeny tiny middle school relationships that I didn't want to be in. I didn't like the guy. I didn't think he was cute or nothing like that. And but he wants me. Yeah. So who am I? I'm not even that cute anyway. So who am I to be like, no, I couldn't say no. I can't say no to anybody. Yeah. So I just wound up with these little boyfriends that I didn't even like for real. And then allowing myself to be put through ringers by other guys, just like, cause I just wanted them to like me. So, fast forward to, I say that for you to understand that that's where my head has always been when it comes down to men. That's where I put value. So as I've chosen different, guys over my life, last year I was dating. This is when we were outside. It was in that moment where she was outside and I was outside. We were both outside and we were both dating.
Going out, having fun.
Doing all these things. And I met a guy that I thought everything was going to be pretty okay. I thought that this guy seems all right. He had his own house. Like he purchased the home. It was his. He had a good job. We vibed pretty on the same wavelength, talking about stuff. He was very vocal. I like to know what's going on. I like to know where your head at. I very much knew where his head was from the moment we kind of met in person. He
communication was clear.
This is what I want. This is what I see. Yada yada, which alarmed me for like half a second. And then I'm like, okay, well, no, everything's fine, because first of all, it's what you've been asking for. You've been wanting to know. You've been wanting a guy that's going to actually tell you the things and actually say them out of his mouth, and not have you completely, wondering and guessing what's going on.
Right, or pulling that out of him. Like, well, do you? No.
He was saying it. So it's like, it's just fine. Everything's great. It's fine. I told her. She was like, it's a little weird. It's like, you're right. It is a little weird, but, whatever. And it was our first time seeing each other. It was our first time, like, really meeting, really hanging out. Everything was fine in the beginning. And
I think you said he wanted to cook for you or something like that at the house. Yeah. It was supposed to be like a little date day. And
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It was my work from home day. And I didn't have a lot to do in the morning. So I was supposed to come over for breakfast. And, well, brunch. And we were having a good time. Things were leading to other things, and consent was there all the way up until the discussion of protection didn't happen. It was supposed to happen. So long story short, I was sexually assaulted. In the sense that once I said, I need you to use protection, consent was waived for no protection.
Well, no, consent wasn't waived.
Well, no, yeah, consent
He chose to forego what your consent was and just did what he
my
wanted
consent
to do.
was to protection.
Right. You wanted protection.
My
and he
consent
chose,
was not to.
It was not
unprotected.
honored. Yeah, it was not honored.
And that is where the assault comes into play.
Yeah. You didn't want physical interaction in that capacity.
I didn't want that anymore.
You chose one thing. He forewent what you said and did what he wanted to do. I vocally, I said, expressed it
with
clearly.
the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You need to put this on. And I felt like I no longer was talking to a person. And he did what he wanted to do. And because of the way my brain has always been, because of the way I've always put those pieces together that I just talked about men and what I'm able to give them that they want and all of that, I went along like it was nothing. In the moment, yeah, I was upset. I felt violated, all of that. But when it was over, I went on like I continued as if it was okay. And I think I talked to you, I told you about it. And it was like,
that's not okay.
It was like
that. No,
that's
not.
No,
you wanted one thing.
No,
and he chose what he wanted and felt that was more important than what you wanted. You wanted to protect yourself from whatever could have been, and he was negligent and disregarded and discarded how you felt. So that's why I was telling you, like, that's not okay to just say, oh, well, he just did. No. So when you sat with that and thought about it, he was like, you're right. That's not okay. And it just all kind of culminated to a point. Yeah.
Right. That was.
You didn't ask for that.
Right. So. Yeah. So when I talked to her about it is when I really kind of realized what it was. And I still kind of just, because I'm already like that. Mind you, I've already talked about my past with my therapist. We've processed it to a piece. To an extent, of course, we haven't had the time to completely, wipe away all the dissect it completely at this point. But we've had significant enough conversation about it to put things in place for me to now change the way I view my conversations with men and all these other things. So I think I'm actually pretty good. I could have talked about it some more, but it's whatever. And but even after having the conversation with Chris, and finding out and realizing what had happened, I still went back over there and hung out with him again. And then I realized, then it hit me. Oh, no. You gotta make this stop. You can't keep doing that. This has to stop. You can't keep talking to him. That wasn't okay. You can't just keep this going. No.
My whole perspective was like, if he's willing to disregard you in the simplest form of protecting your body, what else is he gonna push beyond? What other boundary will you have that he'll disregard, not care about? How far will it go? Will it be, oh, well, I won't tell her about this, or I'll just keep this from, like, depending on how long the relationship was going to go, who knows in what other capacity he was going to disrespect you. It was just endless. If on the simplest of initial pieces, I'm physically protecting myself from you, whatever, things you may have going on physically with you, kissing shore, whatever. But that piece of things, I'm trying to keep separate. And you took matters into your own hands. So at that point, you don't care about me in the smallest request that we could do in that moment. It's a huge request, but on the initial scale, you disregard that. What else are you going to do that's going to push beyond the boundaries that I'm asking you for? So it's like there's no potential future in that type of situation with somebody that can disregard you in that instance like that. So that's why I was like, nah, you got to cut this dude off. Like, he may be nice, he may have his stuff together, it's other guys out here that's better than that. No, we not settling for that at all. So I was like, I was not for it at all. So
yeah. And like I said, I went back. And then I finally was like, oh, no, you're dumb. No, stop being stupid, Nnita. Like, come on. Like, you know better. You know better at this point. Like, snap out of it. So, So then I cut him. I cut him off. Well, no, I didn't. I thought that maybe if I brought it to his attention, the concern that I had, and how I was feeling. Like when I went into that conversation, I didn't go into the conversation with, at the end of this, I'm cutting you off. That just wasn't my intention when I went in. The intention was to just tell him how I feel about what had happened.
Yeah, hopefully get an apology, acknowledgement, something.
Like, and all I got was, like, I thought you wanted it or something like that, or some roundabout way of basically saying that. And it's like, how could you say that when I explicitly said?
Clearly told you.
So then what pissed me off about the conversation was then he acted like he was doing me a good service by saying, you know what, we should just stop.
Thank you so much for that. That's such a great idea, sir.
I just feel like
You're
maybe,
so smart.
with this, we should just not anymore, I just no longer, I don't feel like this is a good thing. That's what pissed me off about the conversation. Like, I wasn't so pissed off at the fact that he was like, oh, well, I thought you would. No, that last part, that's what...
Not you thinking this is your idea.
Because now you're the good guy. And it's like, you're not the good guy. But now you're the good guy. Because you said, you know what?
Be the bigger person.
We should probably just, I think it's best if we just like, so, because now you're the hero when you're not.
No.
But I've gotten to a point in my life where I choose, I choose my battles. I don't need you to know that I won. Like, I don't need you. You can have that. If that's what's best for you, if that's what gets you through life, is that you think that you are the hero in this and that you cut me off because that was what was best for both of us. If that works for you, that's fine. I know what it really is. And I know if I told the story to anybody else, they would know what it really was. So it is what it is. So I let him have that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, have your thing, sir. You're now blocked. But I bring all of that up and bring this whole instance up because what I thought was processed still wasn't really processed, because I still went back to that old way of thinking and allowed it to continue, decided to go hang out again and keep talking to him even after that. And in the moment when it actually occurred, I really did feel like the little girl. So
I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not gonna do it.
And then I left and I ran to something that was safe. I ran like probably as much as running could be without actually running. Like I immediately left and went home and then went back to then went out to what was safe. And not what was safe isn't like I'm gonna go with the safe guy. Like no, like to something that was comfortable and gave me security. That I never, ever had to worry about that with or anything like that. So just jumped over there and got my little safe fix and then went back home. Made myself feel better by, going to my safe space and then try to figure my life out again. But long story short, of course I'm in a better space now than I was then. Whatever, Avi. But it just, thinking back on it, was surprising to me that what was once thought to have been completed was not. I thought that I was not healed. I didn't think I was healed, but I thought I was at a pretty good space where
Beyond it.
Yeah, I'm not completely beyond it, but like I was aware, so I could manage.
Okay.
I could manage it.
Yeah.
I can make better decisions now because I'm aware.
Yeah.
That I'm aware that that's the way I think, so I won't continue to do that. I now know that that's not the correct way of thinking, and there's no evidence or fact in that, or anything that is true behind that way of thinking and all of that stuff. So I can see it, and not go forward. And I think that's a little bit of a space where kind of goes back to what we were talking about when we were talking about with you, of you asking God for one thing and then it comes, but you didn't say this other thing. And so I think that's what happened. So even though I knew how I thought, I knew my way of thinking, I knew everything, and I thought that I was aware and I'd be able to catch it and see it and flip it. because the person had all the things, the stuff that I had asked for, stuff that I
Showed
wanted,
you what you wanted. Yeah.
I got bamboozled.
Yeah.
Like my head got a little turned, and that blinder came back on, I guess, and I didn't. The awareness that I had about that was not there anymore, so I couldn't catch it or anything.
Yeah.
And so, boom, and it's and I really do think it kind of goes. And it's funny how things connect, and it's not completely funny. It's God, but that goes back to what we were saying about asking God for things, and being specific, and him giving you the thing or the thing coming, and we thinking it's from him or what have you, and and then we didn't mention that one thing.
Left it out.
I did ask for an assertive man, a man that would tell me what he wanted, communicate, but I didn't specifically say that man would not assert himself
Right.
onto me without, assert himself in situations and disregard what I say and how I feel. And so I got a man that had all the things that I said that I thought that I wanted. And then I didn't say that one thing because I didn't think I had to. And then
Didn't know you had to list everything.
I didn't know. And then that's where
I think it's common sense. Don't assault me.
And that's when see,
Just don't. Bare necessities. Bare minimum. Let that not be on the list. I didn't think I needed to put that in the category.
I think I had to say smart, funny, job, and understands what consent is. I didn't know.
Didn't realize that needs to be on the check.
I didn't know I had to say that part too.
Yeah.
Like I thought that I could just say.
That's why you just do a blank statement. God, give me whatever you got for me. I don't want to pick no more. I don't want to pick no more. I'm a bad picker. I don't know.
At the same time, I feel like maybe those things are not from God.
Oh, yeah, no.
Those things are Satan's thing that he puts into place,
making you think that you're getting what you want.
To disguise, he's putting he's making you. For example, you're in the desert and you need some water. He's making the water.
Mirage.
He's giving you the mirage. It has all the things that you said, but it has this one piece that's really him.
That's a word, girl.
It's
hit
really
my spirit.
It's really a mirage.
Ooh.
I thought this was what God was giving me, but no, it's a mirage.
How many mirages do you have in your life?
I go over there. I thought this was what I asked for. I thought this is what God was giving me because I told him the things, and that's what he does. I tell him the things, and he does the things. So I thought this was it, and it was a mirage.
Closer you get to it, you realize.
As I walked over to it, I realized it wasn't what I thought it was.
You want a pool of water with a shade palm tree.
There was no God in it. There was no God in it.
Girl, that's... Go on now. I'm finna get happy in the spirit. Go on now. I'm so serious. Got my legs shaking. Go on about your business now. That's a word, girl. Goodness gracious.
I thought, because it looked like, but it wasn't all the way there.
I'm over here getting happy. I ain't lying to you, girl. I'm trying to keep myself together. I feel like I'm in church, sitting in the pew, and I'm trying to hold my mule for Pastor to get crazy, and I'm like, got my legs shaking. I'm fit to start running around this here sanctuary. Stop playing with me.
Sanctuary.
Girl, I will pull this table out and hit a full pivot around this little coffee table. Don't play.
But yeah. It is crazy because that's
so true. That can apply to any and everything. You think this job has everything that you want, and it's listing on your categories. I want this. I want this. I want this.
This is what I asked God for.
And then boom, mirage. You think you got it.
This is what I asked God for.
Oh, that's my testimony. And next thing you know, the managers is crazy. Your job is toxic. Your work environment is stressful. The workload is crazier than it was on your last job. And you looking like, dang, this ain't even what I thought it was. It's a mirage. And that
because
everything.
It's what I asked for.
Not what. Ooh.
It's what I asked for. It's what I asked God for. It's what I wanted. But did he tell me to go get it?
Shut up. You shut your mouth. I'ma just sit here and keep my composure because you
Did
preaching.
he tell me to go get it? He didn't tell me.
Did you wait and listen to hear his voice to see
He didn't tell me to
if
go
he was
get
gonna move for you or if he was gonna move you in that direction or move it in front of you? Because most times you don't even gotta move. You just sit there and he will move the atmosphere around you to put you where you need to be without you having to do anything. When you start moving and shuffling and trying to shift the chessboard pieces, that's when you mess your own game up. Honey?
No. Okay.
Mm.
Because he said that if you trust me and you know me and you follow me and you listen to me, he said, I will give you the things that you need, your desires of your heart. I will give you those things.
Yep.
He gave David a whole land to rule over because he gave it to him. David didn't have to go get it.
He didn't have to petition nobody.
He didn't have to
he
do
have to
anything.
ask for nothing.
It was given to him. And those mirages, we have to go do something to get.
Yep.
God told me, God said that he would give it to you.
Just sit there.
So I shouldn't have to go get it.
You just sit there and let him bring it to you.
He didn't tell you to go get it.
And when he do want you to move, you'll know.
I put the cupcake on the table. I didn't tell you to go get it.
Yep.
I didn't tell you could eat it.
You done took me to church. Good gracious. My spirit is full. I missed church last Sunday, baby. I got it today.
My spirit.
It's full.
Is there anybody that wants to come and know Jesus
where is
today?
Where is the offering plate? We need to get the basket. I got my cup. We gonna do communion. I ain't got the bread. I got the juice. Hello. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Because, baby, that was a sermon.
That's crazy.
If anybody wants to borrow that for your church sermon, just let us know how the sermon went. Because, baby, that's a word right there.
Don't take my stuff.
I mean, they might use it as a topic.
You say Nnita said it.
That's what I'm saying. If they use it, just tell us how it went.
Dr. Nnita said it.
Tell us how it went. Because, honey,
I tell you like I tell my teens. I say it once, I give people credit one time. After that,
it's mine. It's mine. What was that thing you said last Sunday? Oh, I said, I gave last
and I will tell you one time when it came from somebody else, if it came from me.
After that,
I said that.
Unless it's documented proof that somebody else said it, it's mine.
Show me the evidence. There's no evidence.
Show me they said it.
Show me the evidence.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
I kind of went in a different direction than my intention was to go.
You did, but that was necessary.
I'm not sure if I hit the points that I wanted to hit.
Okay, let's circle back.
In regards to me. So I don't know because I wound up elsewhere.
You wound up where God wanted you to be.
Yeah.
That was a message he had for somebody.
I understand. However, God also supposed to know my brain.
He do. That's why he mixed up in there.
You know I got the ADHD brain.
High definition.
Got the ADHD brain. You can't be doing stuff like that to me.
Your checkerboard pieces around.
Can't be doing stuff like that. Now I don't know where is my queen? Where is my queen? I can't find my queen.
Checkmate. Knight to pawn. Let me stop acting like I know how to play chess.
So that
rook to bishop 4. I'm only quoting what I've heard in movies. I don't know. That's all I know. I've heard certain pieces. It's checkmate. That's all I know. And then they slap the little button counter. Smack it. Yep. That's all I know. I quote what I've seen in movies. That's it. Woo. But yes,
What did you say? Rook to no,
Rook
you were
to
wrong.
Bishop 4.
I know how to play chess. She's wrong.
I told you I don't know what I'm talking about. I just named pieces of the board.
You know rooks and bishops are right.
I heard it.
What's the way you say?
I heard it. That's what I'm saying. I know it's a rook and I know it's a bishop. What order they come in and what their roles are, I have no idea. I don't know when is the big dog or the little dog, baby. I don't know.
I hope that I made my point of how trauma would just keep following you and stuff like that.
What is the takeaway that you want them to have just to ensure that they got the takeaway point? What is it that you want them to take away from what you said?
That whole last part.
What I took away from
that whole
what
part when I was talking about the mirages and stuff. That's good.
That is good. But I mean, based on your...
the point as far as like my actual
what you've
story
been through that they may be able to relate to.
Okay.
Yes. What takeaway did they have?
Like
from
my actual story part. Okay.
If someone does relate to that, what can they take away as far as growth or where you are now?
Well, one thing I want you to take away is consent is consent all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
From every piece of it, small or big, all the way around. Mm-hmm. At any point, if something is happening that you did not want to happen, your consent has been taken. It's no longer consent. It's no longer consensual. And make sure that I don't just preach therapy because I'm a therapist. I do it because it works. It's important. We are humans we learn through our experiences. Mm-hmm. We are shaped through our experiences. Our 5 senses are not only how we get through the world, it is how we learn the world. It's how when we are born, we are a blank canvas as far as our personality traits, who we will be when we get older. All of that is shaped by everything that we experience as we grow up. So the reason that you are the person who you are is because of what you have gone through, what you have seen, what you have experienced, either directly or indirectly. Mm-hmm. So you gotta talk to somebody about it. Just because you feel like it's small, because somebody else's is so much bigger, mm-hmm. what impacts you is specific to you. So go to therapy. I'm so glad we're at a point in our society where it is okay. And there's so many different spaces out there for us to get therapy mm-hmm. and talk to people. And there's affordable things out there, even for people that don't have insurance, because we have finally gotten to a place where it is trendy. Yeah. It's on trend to go to therapy. So talk to somebody, because had I talked to somebody when I was a teenager or when I was a kid, I probably would not have had to have what happened to me happen to me if I had talked about the things before. Yeah. And I didn't. And it was more so just because I didn't feel like there was anybody I could talk to. I felt like I was supposed to not need therapy or anything like that, because my mom worked in mental health, and she worked with people. And I don't need, in my mind, when I was that age, when it was actually happening to me, what a person that had mental health problems was the type of person that my mom worked with. And my mom worked with addicts at the time. She was in substance abuse. So I was like, I don't need that for this. Like,
So
what?
you didn't equate your situation
everything's
with
fine.
that need.
Because we're talking young here. And I'm like, well, I'm not that. So I'm fine. I don't need to talk to anybody. This is just, must be something that happens to people. And it was very confusing for me. Yeah. So it was all inside because it was too confusing. I couldn't get it out. It was too confusing for me to even get out to say to somebody back then. And then as I got older, it no longer seemed to be a problem. I kind of just ignored it. It didn't even seem like it existed until grad school, because becoming a therapist is really transformative. Like, apparently you have to be all transformed to be a therapist. Who knew? So through that, I realized, oh shoot, this had happened to me when I was little, and that's what that was. Yo. It's like I had been asleep for 15 years. It's like I had been asleep. And I woke up, and there it was. And now I need to talk to somebody about it. Like, and so I eventually did. So, but it had followed me, and it had done all these things. It changed my way of thinking. It had did all of that. And if we go ahead and talk to somebody when it happens, we save ourselves. We will save ourselves a lot of the pain because we never talked about it. And I know that a lot of people, there's a lot of people that, oh, I don't feel like my past is the whole reason of who I am, yada, yada, yada. Look, the facts are the facts. We learn and we learn through our memories and our experiences. That's how we learn. So if something happens to you, no matter what age you are, it's going to impact you. Yeah. And once it has happened, it is now past. Yeah. So your past impacts you regardless, because that's how we learn. And that's my belief. There's plenty of theories out there. But that's what makes most sense to me. And that's what I've seen in my own life and other people's lives. Like, that's just the way it is. So just talk to somebody. And that's one of the reasons that I became a therapist, is because I was so confused. I didn't have anybody I could talk to. And then once I realized, when I started dealing with a bunch of other stuff in middle school, the depression and the anxiety and all that stuff, and I was like, I need to talk to somebody. And it was like, who am I going to talk to? Who's going to get me? None of the therapists that I was seeing when I was in middle school or high school around, that I knew about, that I saw on TV,
specialize in that type
felt
of
like not even specialized. I felt like I could be comfortable talking to them. Yeah. What I seen on TV was this person in a whole suit with their glasses like this, going, And how do you feel about that? Right. Yeah. I was like, can't nobody like that talk to me? Back then, nobody really. Not that they didn't care, but it was just, it wasn't a comfortable environment to be vulnerable with your innermost thoughts. You didn't feel like it was a nurturing space for you to be able to release that type of information. Right. And be understood. Literally, yeah. And be understood and know that the person is going to get where I'm coming from and not feel like, oh, but you're 12, so. Maybe your adolescence is affecting your... No. Right. Your experiences aren't real. Your experiences aren't real. You're a teenager. You're 12. You're a preteen. That's and so that's why I never said anything about... I never even asked to go to therapy or go to counseling because of that. what I felt.
Yeah.
Because of that piece, I never even asked about it. And so I decided to be the therapist that the girl that was like me would look at and be like, oh, she's going to get me.
Mm-hmm. Down to earth, real.
Yeah. That's what I decided to be the therapist that comes to session with jeans and dunks on. Like, I decided to be that type of therapist, this completely 100% authentic version of myself, so that other people, so that you will feel like you can talk, because you can. I'm not going to judge you a bit. As long as you can handle the humor, then you can talk to me, because I play too much
all the time.
And
all the time.
You see,
she was chuckling through her whole situation.
It's going to be a joke. It's going to be something. So that, yes, I wanted to be that type of therapist. And from what I've been told, from I talked to a teenager about something. I'm just being Nnita. I'm just saying stuff. Oh, and you could do this, and don't be, just being me, just giving information stuff. And then weeks later, the mom, grandma, auntie, whoever, the adult in their life comes back and says to me, I'm so glad you were able to talk to her, or you really helped her. She just told me da. That's the only way I realized that I might be doing something right. Because I just decided this is what I was going to be, and that's it. So I've been through too much in my life that has affected me in whatever way, not to be worried about what other people think about me in my work, because I know why I do my work and the purpose that I'm doing it and what I'm trying to put out. And I'm trying to put out that all of y'all can talk to me. I don't care that you're 12. I don't care that you're 13. I don't care that you're 16. Your feelings are valid. Whatever your experience, your opinions, and your beliefs are absolutely 100% valid. And I'm going to talk just like you, and I look just like you, and I'm going to use the same slang you do while I'm talking about it. And I'm not going to say everything in correct English, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything, because I don't. All I did was go to school, and they taught me some things I could say. They taught me what some skills were and gave me some words. I don't really know everything. I think
she act like it.
I don't really know everything about, I know some things because I study behavior, but I mean, hey, that's it. Like, I don't really know everything. You are the expert on your own life, not me. You experienced it, not me. So I think see, she had a soapbox, and now I had a soapbox, and I'm off my soapbox. So, moral of the story, talk about it. No, moral of the entire story. The entire story.
Well, so you got to talk about it.
No, the entire story is what I said about consent and your little, well, you have to talk about it.
I was about to say, you got to talk about it. You got to say it.
Those are the morals. And then, that thing I said about God, that'd be really nice for you to have.
Discover the mirages in your life. That is my takeaway for the night, honey. I'm so serious. It's going to be some things in your life that you're going to feel are like this grand, great thing, but you got to vet those situations thoroughly, go to God about it, figure it out, wait to see his hand move in a situation. And if he don't move you in that direction, or if it don't start prospering in a positive way, then it's false, it's fake, it ain't real, and it ain't of God.
Because if it's for you, he said he would give it to you.
Sure will. You ain't got to fight for it.
He's going to put you in a position to have whatever it is, or if it's going to come to you because it's from him. If you got to do something to get it, then it must not be from him.
Now, faith without works is dead. So you don't work for something.
That type
when
of
you got to
way.
hustle and
but
fight
when you have
your
to do all of this
tussle,
finagling and finagling just to get it,
that ain't no God.
That's not, because he said he would give it to you.
Honey, clear as day.
He said he would give it to you.
Yep.
So you shouldn't have to do all of that to get it.
Nope.
You know, going to school to get your degree because you want to be a doctor.
That's what
yeah.
You got to do that.
You have to do that. But you
in.
shouldn't have to finagle and finagle your way all through the medical stuff to become a doctor.
Right.
No. You should be able to get in med school and this, that, and third because it's what God has for you. He's giving it to you. You shouldn't have to finagle and finagle your way and get somebody else to take your test to get in med school. If it's for you, it's for you. Because God has the power to do those things. Satan does not have the power to do those things. So Satan can only give you this beautiful thing and it's temporary. Just like it's a mirage. It's temporary. It's gonna fade away. He doesn't have the ability to put you in places. He has the ability to persuade you to go to places, but he doesn't have the ability to put you in places and put things in front of you like that.
Don't. And this is our personal beliefs. If you're not religious, take it as a grain of salt. That's your business. But this is our beliefs, and those that know, if you know, you know. Then this is just our Christian belief and our Christian faith and principles. This isn't a religious podcast platform, but we believe in God. We believe in him. So if we sprinkle that in there, a little sprinkle, it will be in there time and time. If that's not your belief and faith, we understand respectfully. You can skip to the next episode, come back to the next one. But this is just our tidbit of how we evaluate life and how we view moving through certain situations. So if that's not your path, we respect that completely. But you will hear that intertwined in our conversations and intertwined into our belief system. Or that is our belief system, so you'll hear that in our conversations. But we just wanted to make it clear that that is not what we're forcing on you. We're not saying that you have to believe in God. That is your personal choice. We're not going to force him on you, but we will speak on how he has blessed us. And if you find some form of, approaching, belief in that, and you want to go find out for yourself, then hey.
Yeah, I mean, and in whatever religion it is that you believe in, there is some higher power within your religion that you believe in, and whatever that is, I would think that I don't know what exactly it is, but in your particular religion, but I would think that you guys feel that higher power has the ability to do things for you,
right?
So, what I say can still be applied to whatever religion is that you participate in and whatever God it is that you serve, because I think the commonality is that the God, whatever God it is that you choose to serve or whatever higher power it is you choose to serve, has the ability to do things for you in your life. So those blanketed statements, if you believe in a different, if you have a different religion, a different higher power, just insert yours there and it still can apply.
But just know we believe in God over here.
But we will be using Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
The Lord, God, my Father, his Son Jesus, and the Holy Spirit.
Period.
The 3 in 1. That's what we'll be talking about. And I'm not going to apologize for talking about it because he's the one that told me to start a podcast anyway.
Facts. He did, and he lined it all up.
He the one that told me to do it anyway. So, whatever.
You're welcome. Here you go.
Because I'm not going to not listen to him.
Facts. So, yeah. And it kind of lined up for us because she said she wanted to do the podcast. I had a lady approach me, and I swear it was an angel because I was standing in my driveway at my parents' house. Lady, never saw her walking down the street. I was in the driveway doing whatever and didn't see her coming this way on any part of the street. But I had turned my back, and she walked up to me and said, "You have a message for women that people need to hear." Or that how did she word it? She worded it, women need to hear your story. And I was just like, okay. I didn't know what that meant. I was just like, okay. And then I was like, thank you. She was like, you're welcome. And I turned to go do something, and I looked back, she was gone. I looked up the street, and I'm like, it was literally a matter of seconds. Ain't no way she got up that way. Ain't no way she went back that way. It won't no cars that she hopped in that pulled off in a matter of seconds. So I'm like, Okay. And then a couple months later, I'm in church, minding my business. They have an altar call, go up for prayer. You know how certain ministers will come and hold your hands, pray with you, pray over you. Lady, one of the ministers came up, put a hand on my chest, put a hand on my forehead, and I started crying. Just emotionally, I was in that moment. And she said, ooh, you got a story. She said, you got a story, and women are going to be blessed by your testimony. And I just broke down. I'm sitting there about to break down now thinking about it because
It's okay. I
literally,
You can cry too.
I haven't cried today. You're right. Literally, that moment from what the lady said in the driveway that I presume was an angel. I'd never seen her on the street before. Most of my neighbors, I know that by face. Never seen this lady before in my life. For her to just be walking around, so that threw me. And then for the minister to say that. And then for you to come to want to do the podcast years later. This is after the divorce. After this past relationship failed. Physical, mental abuse. All the crazy stuff. Financial issues. Literally everything that happened. I'm like, I didn't have a testimony back then. So it didn't resonate with me.
They said this to you a long time
This
ago?
was years ago.
I mean, when you say years, that could be like 3. You
No.
mean like a long.
No, this is when I was still, like, this was before I got married.
That's what I'm saying. You mean like 18, 19?
Yes. I was a teenager. This was before I got married. I was still in college.
Oh, yeah.
I just came to visit my parents at the house.
Oh.
So I was just in the driveway minding my business. I was dating my son's dad at the time, so I didn't have a story. So when the lady said it, I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but all right, it's whatever. Thank you. I'm thinking like, oh, well, maybe I have a success story one day. I didn't know what to apply that to. And then I went to church, and that was still literally a couple months later because I was still visiting at my home church because we was in college, but I would come home on certain Sundays. If we weren't partying, sleeping through certain Sundays, I came to church. So that particular Sunday, I came a couple different Sundays after that.
I didn't know both of
came
these
to
instances
church.
you were talking about was way back then.
Yes, that's like this was long time ago. I had no story. I had testimony. I had stories, trial and tribulation through college, fight to make it through the grades. I had no real stories. And then life hit me in the gut punch. And you know the story. Y'all will probably eventually hear it in one of the episodes. But everything, even my mama would say, she said, Krys, you've been through stuff that people have been married for 10 years haven't been through. And you've gone through it in year 2, year 1. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's been a lot. And then I get in further situations. Get out of that marriage, go into another relationship. Worst relationship I ever been in my life. Mental issues, physical issues, cheating, lying, abuse, mental, physical, all that. And I'm like, I know, God, you think I'm a strong soldier, but bro, I can't handle this. But apparently, I could because I made it on the other side, thank the Lord. But it hit me when you said, Krys, let's do a podcast. And I was like, for what? He was like, well, I mean, it could be about this. Like, the whole platform. I take no credit for this, y'all. Renita, this is Nita's plan. Like, she came with the brainchild, and I just be here talking. I swear, I just be here talking. She be doing the behind the scenes stuff. I swear, I just be here as entertainment. But I mean, I'm a segment, but entertainment. But it resonated with me because I'm like, it immediately took me back to women are gonna be blessed by your story, and I think that's why this segment today. Shut up. When I saw the girl's post, and she said, what I have to say hits people because, girl, makeup field tissue.
Okay, you got makeup field tissue.
When she said the piece about when I open up about what I've been through and my traumas and my vulnerabilities, I see how other people receive that and they're not blessed from it, but they're affected by it, where they now feel seen. They now feel valued and validated in their emotions and what they've been through. They get some type of release from that. As soon as I saw that, that resonated again with what the lady said, what I presume the angel said, and then the reason for the podcast. I'm like, this is the time we need to do this, because it just kept sitting with me. Where it's like, I don't know who is gonna watch this episode, part 1 and part 2. I don't know who's gonna watch it. I don't know how it's going to resonate with them. Hopefully it does sit with them and they can comment and let us know how they've received the video. And it may be a guy, it may be a woman, I don't know. But I know somebody's going to see this and feel something. They may relate to it. They may agree, they may disagree. It may be just a conversation started within their own realm and their own friend circle. But that can be the start to release for somebody else. And that's all I want this to be. This whole episode, as uncomfortable as it was, me speaking in part 1 about what I went through with my ex, I've never once said any of that to anybody outside of you, my mama, my sister, the other friend I'm not close to, but she knows. And I think that's it. Nobody else knows about that stuff. So this is the first time I'm able to open up about it publicly to express it. My current boyfriend knows about it. My ex-husband, my son's father, he knows about it. So certain people that's close to me know. And when I tell you, I've had to still try to protect that man because so many people have wanted to come in his neck over the things that he's done to me because I'm such a real type of person. They like, Krys, you don't deserve that. You didn't deserve that. Stuff that happened with you. Somebody's going to be released from their situation because they can see how you took what happened, how you're applying yourself to change, and how you're not letting that stay, or you're not remaining where you were, letting that mindset sit with you. That's going to resonate for somebody. So that was the whole reason that video resonated and sat with me, and that's why I'm just like, we got to do this one. I know it was uncomfortable, but hopefully somebody got something from it. And for those family and friends, for those family and friends that are just finding out these situations from us through this video, I'm sorry you feel like it was an impersonal way to find out. This is the reason for the platform. It is a way of expression for us, as well as a therapeutic release for us, as it is for you all to receive. So this is a two-way street. We're giving as you're receiving, and as you receive it, give it back to us. We can use the support too. So, soapbox done. Cries are done. But
I don't understand how you get 2 soapboxes and I only get 1.
I wasn't trying to have a soapbox. I really wasn't. You said that you started a podcast. I was the reason for podcast, and that's what it just said. I'm like, yo, I gotta talk about this now because the lady said people will be blessed by your story, and I didn't have no testimony.
She just like to have the last word.
I do a little bit, but I won't expect them to say all that. I won't try to. I'm done. I ain't saying nothing else. I'm sleeping.
You one of those something.
What?
When you started crying, I was like, yes.
You wanted me to cry so bad. That's why you ripped the tissue so quick. Like, oh, here. I was like, oh, she's so eager to give you a little crusty tissue. You know, wipe your old crusty, dusty face. I got brown makeup and everything up here. I ain't even wearing no makeup like that. I ain't wearing no brown makeup that shade.
I could have just let your little tears run into your nose and your mouth.
And they was.
Try to be a good
right
friend.
on my nose.
Try to be your sister.
I wasn't trying to have a soapbox. I'm trying to have a soapbox.
Well, you know what? I am not going to keep trying to stay here any longer. I'm as tired because
we got to go.
Releasing is exhausting.
It's necessary, but when you cry, it drains you. All your tears.
This is exhausting.
All your tears is out.
This has been exhausting. So I hope that you like the 2-hitter quitter. And
part 1 and part 2.
I hope you enjoyed the 2-quitter hitter.
2-hitter quitter.
The 2 for 1 special.
Jesus.
I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.